The agenda is in full effect and it's unfolding and taking place right before our eyes. Operation Kelsey's World, Operation Stephanie White trying to get Kelsey Mitchell MVP. This entire thing is about Kelsey in this scoring streak, and she's played really well. But you can look at the last few games, you can tell the whole thing has been about Kelsey Mitchell keeping his scoring streak together, even in games that she hasn't played well. They force-fed her when she was stuck at 18. They force-fed her for an entire fourth quarter in overtime to get her to 20. And it continued on through the last game, and it's continued on through the game versus the Dallas Wings, where essentially pretty much every single play was run for Kelsey Mitchell while she was on the floor. And you got Stephanie White and Kelsey Mitchell celebrating even during a loss, her scoring streak, because essentially that is what the season is about at this point. It's about the scoring streak and, you know, trying to get Kelsey Mitchell an MVP.
Hold on, because what happened after this loss has the entire Fever fan base talking. Stephanie White's comments involving Caitlin Clark immediately became a major talking point, but at the same time, Kelsey Mitchell had a moment that simply could not be ignored. The Fever may have walked away without the result they wanted, but Kelsey reached a scoring milestone that deserves genuine recognition. And that's where the emotions get complicated. Caitlin is constantly under a microscope, so even a simple comment from her coach can become a huge storyline. Was Stephanie actually calling Caitlin out, or was she simply demanding more from one of her biggest stars? Either way, fans heard the message loud and clear. And while all of that drama was unfolding, Kelsey Mitchell continued writing her own story. A loss can be painful, but individual achievements can still matter. Now the real question is whether this moment becomes motivation for Caitlin and the entire Fever to respond on the court.
Let's take a listen here, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get into what Stephanie White and Kelsey Mitchell had to say as they celebrate a loss with celebrating the scoring.
Kelsey, obviously not the result you all wanted, but personally you set the record for consecutive 20-point games tonight. Can you just go through your last couple days that have been kind of, you know, up and
just celebrate. We lost, but hey, let's just celebrate the scoring streak. This is all that matters.
Down after Toronto, and then what's it mean to set that?
I think that it's a part of the game. So for one, I just want to, you know, congratulate my team for making me look good.
Stephanie White running every play for you, but you a baller. You get your buckets, but Stephanie White has completely catered the entire offense to.
Imagine giving everything you have on the court, walking away with a loss, and then watching the spotlight shift to a teammate's historic achievement. That's basically what made this moment so emotional. Stephanie White's reaction toward Caitlin Clark has sparked plenty of debate, especially because Caitlin is already carrying enormous expectations every single night. When you're the face of a franchise, every mistake gets noticed, every missed shot gets analyzed, and every comment from your coach can become headline news. But while the attention was focused on Caitlin, Kelsey Mitchell gave Indiana something worth celebrating. Her scoring milestone is a reminder that this team isn't built around just one player. Caitlin matters, Kelsey matters, and the Fever need both of them performing at their best. So maybe this wasn't simply about criticism or celebration. Maybe it was about accountability, recognition, and finding something positive even after a disappointing result. And honestly, that could be exactly the kind of moment that brings this team closer together.
Kelsey Mitchell. There's no pick and roll action, which is the main strength of Caitlin Clark's game. Caitlin Clark has been forced to be an ISO scorer, and she's so good. She's gotten good at it, but that's not the bread and butter of her game. The bread and butter of her game is the ball screen action, and it's been completely eliminated to suit what Kelsey Mitchell essentially does best.
I think ultimately it just comes down obviously to work. But I don't really take statistics really that serious, so a lot of this stuff is really circumstantial to me, and so I want to get the dub, and we didn't get that. So I think keeping the focus on the right thing, keeping the main thing is important.
The main thing is you getting the bucket. We all know that. All that, I don't care. No. We know how it is when you are a little bit short of the 20. Every shot is going up till you get the 20, and probably even after.
The scoreboard said one thing, but everything happening afterward told a completely different story. Indiana suffered a frustrating result, and suddenly Stephanie White's comments about Caitlin Clark became one of the biggest talking points. Fans immediately started debating whether White was being too hard on Caitlin or simply challenging her to become better. And honestly, that distinction matters. Caitlin has already shown that she can handle pressure, but being the biggest name on the team also means facing the highest expectations. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell was celebrating a scoring accomplishment that could easily have been overshadowed by the loss. That's the strange reality of professional sports. Sometimes an individual player can make history even when the team doesn't get the win. Kelsey deserves that recognition, and Caitlin deserves the opportunity to respond on the court. If there is one thing we know about Caitlin, it's that criticism often becomes fuel. So now everybody is waiting to see what happens next.
I guess this is for both of you guys, Lexi and Kelsey. I spoke to you guys as creative director earlier this year. Just your thoughts on Jezebel.
I think more energy, a lot of grit. And I think at the end of the day, they just wanted it more. They were more desperate for the win. So for us, I think it's just we needed more of that. We needed to be the team that wanted it more, and I don't think that we were today.
Yeah, more energy, more grit, actually wanting to win. They had a coach that was playing to win, not a coach that was playing to keep a streak going, not a coach that was playing to get someone's stats for an MVP. Like, it's a lot of things, man.
Great. So this is for Coach Ryder, anyone that might want to answer.
I think the biggest thing is we got to be better on the defensive end of the floor. I think the first matchup, we gave them over 100 points, gave them 91 here today. They made some really good adjustments. They forced us to guard one-on-one. We've improved on the defensive end, but we've got to continue to grow.
So she admits to being outcoached. They made really good adjustments. What adjustment did you make, Stephanie White?
Let's be honest. Losing always hurts, especially when you know your team had a chance to do something special. But this night wasn't completely negative for Indiana. Kelsey Mitchell reached an important scoring milestone, and that is something fans should remember regardless of the final result. At the same time, Stephanie White's comments about Caitlin Clark created another layer of tension around the team. Caitlin doesn't get the luxury of having a quiet night. Even when she isn't the main story on the court, she somehow becomes the main story afterward. That's the pressure that comes with being one of the most recognizable players in basketball. But there's also another side to this. A coach challenging a star doesn't necessarily mean there is a personal problem. Sometimes it means the coach expects more because they know exactly what that player is capable of. And if that's what Stephanie White was trying to communicate, Caitlin now has the perfect opportunity to answer the only way that really matters, with her performance.
Jose Fernandez, he didn't want the ball in Caitlin Clark's hands. You helped him get it out of her hands. He wanted Kelsey Mitchell going one-on-one all game. He didn't care if she was making shots because he knew that nobody else would be involved. He made adjustments as a coach. He went big, put in a walk cure at the three. He made adjustments. What adjustments did you make? None. The only thing you did from start to finish was go to Kelsey, go to Kelsey, go to Kelsey, go to Kelsey, go to Kelsey. That's all you did.
In those areas, we got to finish plays. 12 second chance points in the second half when we're trying to make a comeback. All those possessions matter. At the end of the day, it's a possession game. And 50-50 balls, offensive rebounds, turnovers, free throws and dead balls, it makes it hard to do what we do best, and that's play in transition. So we've got to be more disciplined at times. But they're a tough team.
Now look, now she's lying. For one, they're a tough team. This is a team that's lost 8 of 11. They just lost their starting guard, AZ Fudd, who was the #1 pick. They've lost 8 out of their last 11 games. We're not about to say, oh, they're a good team. They've been horrible. The Dallas Wings have been horrible for ever since All-Star break, right before All-Star break, and ever since All-Star break, they've been horrible.
2 teammates, 2 completely different emotions, and one night that fans won't forget easily. Caitlin Clark found herself at the center of criticism after Stephanie White's comments, while Kelsey Mitchell had a reason to smile after reaching a major scoring achievement. And that contrast tells us something important about the Fever. This team needs more than one player to step up. Caitlin can be the superstar who changes the game, but Kelsey has repeatedly shown that she can create her own moments and carry an offensive burden when needed. That's why Kelsey's achievement shouldn't disappear behind the controversy. At the same time, Caitlin's situation is impossible to ignore because expectations around her are massive. Fans want her to succeed, coaches expect more from her, and every performance gets dissected. But perhaps this is exactly where Caitlin can turn the narrative around. Instead of responding emotionally, she can let her basketball do the talking. And if she comes back with a huge performance, suddenly all of this criticism could become yesterday's news.
And we missed some opportunities. I thought there was some fatigue in our shots. When our long shots aren't falling, we got to find other ways to get defenders in rotation. I thought
When our long shot aren't falling, it sounds like you're only talking about Caitlin Clark. Who else was taking long shots?
we got really tunnel visioned in our attacks. Their length really bothered us.
Really tunnel vision. The person with tunnel vision is directly next to you, and it's not number 10. The person with the tunnel vision who was just shooting and she was cooking, but the person with the tunnel vision was right next to you. What are you talking about?
We didn't find the next pass. We didn't find the best shot on the floor. That's an area that, again, we have to continue to grow. But Lexi said it. They were desperate, and we're desperate too, and we got to play like it.
She's a bum. Stephanie White is a pure bum as a head coach.
What if this loss actually becomes the moment that changes everything for Indiana? Because sometimes the most important nights aren't the ones where everything goes perfectly. Sometimes they're the nights that expose what needs to change. Stephanie White's comments involving Caitlin Clark have created plenty of conversation, but the bigger story could be what happens next. Caitlin has already faced unbelievable pressure since entering the WNBA, and another challenge from her coach could become extra motivation. Then you have Kelsey Mitchell, who gave the team a major positive by reaching a scoring milestone. That achievement matters because it shows the Fever have another player capable of making history. So instead of looking at this as simply Caitlin versus Stephanie, maybe the bigger story is about how Indiana responds as a team. Can Caitlin bounce back? Can Kelsey keep producing? Can Stephanie turn this criticism into results? Those questions will be answered on the court. And if the Fever respond with a statement performance next time out, this entire conversation could look very different.